And there we are. Happy Valentine's Day. This is the Dr. Sem Yankee Show and the Start Spreading the News Baseball Yankees podcast. Two shows in one, as we've been doing ever since the end of the season last year. EJ and I are trying desperately to find some time. I'm maxed out. I tell you, I'm doing so many different things right now. I am so maxed out that just trying to find time when I have a moment to record, to find that same time with EJ for the Start Spreading the News show, not easy. It is not easy. But my dear friends, happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to the Dr. Sem Yankee Show, and let's make today a great day. How do you make your day great? It's simple. You look around, you find the good, you bring that good into your heart, and you cherish the good. There is always good. Sometimes we need to search to find it, but there is always good. If you can't find any good, well, then you have within yourself the ability to create good. You know, every time you decide to be less than good, to be less than kind, to be less than empathetic, to be less than caring, to be less than understanding, to be less than loving, you are making that choice. But when we give love and compassion and empathy and understanding, we make the world a better place. One person at a time, each of us individually, we make our worlds better. And then the hope is that the people around us work to make their worlds better. One person at a time. Find the good, cherish it, appreciate it, and spread it forward. That's how you make your day great. Remember, when you give love, and this has been true, I have seen this throughout my entire life. When you give love, and after all, it's Valentine's Day. When you give love, it comes back to you in greater amounts than you ever gave. Now, that's not why you give it. That's not why you work to be a good person. You work to be a good person because it's the right thing to do. But when you do the right thing, not every day, not always, not every minute, but by and large, you make everything better. Take a sad song, as the Beatles once said, and make it better. And since we're in a Beatles mood all of a sudden, all you need is love. And love is all you need. In the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. But I say the love you take is greater. The Beatles said equal to. I say it's greater than the love you make. So welcome to the Dr. Sem Yankee Show. Remember, when we talk about the Yankees, when we write about the Yankees on Start Spreading the News, the greatest singularly Yankees site out there, nobody does Yankees coverage as well as us. That's just a fact. We are the best. Go to startspreadingthenews.blog and you'll see that. We've been doing this since 2017. We have a tremendous staff of writers, including, myself. And we understand baseball on a level and write about it on a level that's really unmatched anywhere else. Along with the consistency of high quality and the fact that we give articles every single day. And except for a very short break we took at the end of January and into early February, we put out at least 3 articles every single day. We are amazing. Check us out. But when we write about the Yankees, we write about what we feel to be true. And one of the beautiful things about the site is the writers, every single one of them, is allowed to write his or her opinion. There's no grand editor. It would be me. I'm the CEO. What would my title be? The editor-in-chief of Start Spreading the News. I never tell anybody what to write. They can disagree with me every day of the week, and I can disagree with them. But by and large, oftentimes, there's a lot of agreement among the writers. And now we are in spring training. Spring training. The players are there. They're lining up. They're exercising. The team is starting to gel. And it is funny, and I've made this comment many times. Most people who know me say that I'm one of the most optimistic people they've ever met. Paul, you're always happy. You always find the good. And I do. I live my life that way. I work hard to make each day a great day. Not just for myself, but for the people around me. I try to build people up. And one of the frustrations I have as a Yankees fan, because I'm also honest, I tell the truth, I share things as I see them, is I often don't see a lot to be excited about. The way the Yankees run their organization, and I've gone through this 400 million times, so I'm not going to do it today. But the way they run their organization, there's not a lot to be excited about if you feel, as I do, that the Yankees should be competing every single year for a world championship. Not saying they're going to get through the playoffs, not even saying they're going to make it to the playoffs. But when spring training starts, when the regular season starts, there should be the sense that the organization built the very best team possible. And for the last many, many, many years, an honest fan looking honestly, not with hope, not with optimism, not with rose-colored glasses, but looking optimistically at the Yankees, has to be honest and say they aren't doing everything they can to be the best possible team. But we're not going to talk about that today. Today, it's Valentine's Day, and today we are going to show the love. I'm going to share with you some of the things, not all, that give me some optimism, some hope. Today, I'm not going to be all rain clouds and doom and gloom. Today, I'm going to say these are the things that I think could make the 2026 season a really magical one for the Yankees. But before we get into that, let me remind you that this show is brought to you by Artemisia Publishing. Artemisia Publishing can be found at apbooks.net. Artemisia is a traditional publisher. They're independent, but they do it the traditional way. They pay their writers. The writers don't pay to be published. They are just like a big publisher, except they're an independent publisher. But Artemisia Publishing publishes across a variety of genres with a plethora of award-winning books, unbelievable award-winning books, many, many, many award-winning books, including the least among them, written by, me, and the award-winning From Compton to the Bronx, written by Roy White with me, and my great motivational book, 365.2, and the greatest novel ever written, Scattering the Ashes. If you have not read Scattering the Ashes, your life is somewhat empty. Sorry, it's true. You need to read Scattering the Ashes. And if you know people who make movies, you need to tell them to make Scattering the Ashes into a movie. It would be a phenomenal movie. It is a one-of-a-kind book, unlike any other, a novel that will make you laugh and cry and keep turning the pages till you get to the end. coming on March 17th, The Greatest New York Yankees by uniform number. All of those books and many, many more published by Artemisia Publishing at 8pbooks.net. All right, let's get this Start Spreading the News banner back up there. Start Spreading the News.blog. So what possible things might I be optimistic about with the Yankees heading into 2026? All right, my friends, that's the show. That would be great. But no, there are some good things. I think Aaron Judge is going to have another great year. You know, Andy Singer on the site on yesterday in the mailbag, mentioned how, they're going to be having the new automatic ball strike system. And that should really benefit Aaron Judge. Andy made a great point with that. Aaron Judge has had more called strikes on him that were out of the strike zone below his knees than any player. And those won't be called strikes anymore, which means he's going to get more pitches to hit, which means he should have another great year. So, boy, oh boy, earth-shattering news. The greatest hitter of his generation is primed to have another great season. And I think that's fair. I'm very optimistic about Ben Rice. I think Ben Rice really could have a terrific, magical year. How's number 35? How does 35 sound? 35 homers. Jazz Chisholm is going to be a free agent at the end of the year. A couple of years ago, we said maybe Gleyber Torres has a big year in his free agent year. It didn't happen. But maybe Jazz does. Wow. What else is there to be optimistic about? You know what I'm optimistic about? I'm optimistic about Paul Goldschmidt. Not as a baseball player, but as a veteran presence on the bench, in the dugout, in the clubhouse. Someone who brings a high quality of veteran leadership to the club. I'm optimistic about that. I'm optimistic about Max Fried. I think Max Fried is one of the top pitchers in baseball. And I'm optimistic that Max Fried will have another terrific year. I'm optimistic, but this might be more hopeful. I'm hopeful, bordering on optimistic, that David Bednar is going to be a top closer in the league, that he can be a lockdown, close the door, end the game closer for the Yankees. I'm optimistic that Cody Bellinger will have a solid season. That's all the Yankees really should be able to expect from him. A nice, well-rounded season where he hits for a good enough average, where he hits a decent amount of home runs, where he drives in a good amount of runs, and where he plays above average defense, whether that be in center field, in left field, in right field, or at first base. Now, I could tell you a lot of things I'm not optimistic about, but it's Valentine's Day, and I said today was the day we were going to stay positive. So among the things about the Yankees, those are the things that I am optimistic about. I've often said I'm bordering on being not optimistic, but I just need to clarify because, again, I have to be honest. And, some people start spreading the news and try to find pieces of sentences or things I might have written that I didn't really write. When I'm wrong, I write that I'm wrong. I don't have to get into all that, but I have to be careful that when I say things that people don't take what I'm saying out of context. Oh, you really believed, you were sure of this. I heard it on your podcast. So the clarification is, I wish the Yankees would head into every season not necessarily looking at the competition and saying we only need to be better than those mediocre to average to maybe slightly above average teams in order to sneak into the playoffs. And if we get into the playoffs, anything can happen. We might even be able to win some short series. We might even be able to win the World Series. That's been their approach for a long time. It's an approach that doesn't excite me at all. I've said many times, we should expect greatness from the Yankees. We should expect excellence, which is what we should expect from everybody who's in our lives, especially those people like the Yankees who we pay for and who give us a service or entertain us. Think of your favorite actor, Stallone. There might not be a bigger Rocky fan than me. Have I watched every Sylvester Stallone movie? Have I seen Rhinestone? No, that looks terrible. Even though I'm a big fan of Stallone, I don't watch every movie he's ever made just because I'm a fan. I watch the movies that he made that I think will be entertaining, that should be excellent. And when they're not excellent, like Rocky V, I'm disappointed. And I feel like I wasted my time and my money. So you can be a fan and expect excellence and be disappointed when excellence isn't achieved. But we should expect excellence from our mechanic, our mail carrier, the fire department, the police department, the school district, our doctors, our lawyers, our accountants, the people who write articles on websites that we read, like Start Spreading the News. All of those things, we expect excellence. And so we shouldn't expect or accept less than that from the Yankees. So that's the background. That's the qualifier. Just when people say, oh, you changed your position. No, I haven't. Not on this. The Yankees should always be striving to be the best. But the reality is the American League's not all that terrific. It's not all that competitive. You don't have to be great. I'd rather the Yankees work to be great. But you only have to be a little better than pretty good. And the Yankees should be a little better than pretty good. There's hope that Carlos Rodon and Garrett Cole come back from injury. There's hope that Austin Wells starts to hit. There's hope that Anthony Volpe puts it together. There's hope that Trent Grisham wasn't a one-year wonder. There's hope again that Jazz Chisholm puts up another big year. There's hope that Giancarlo Stanton has one last great run in him. There's hope that playing as a part-time player, Paul Goldschmidt, can do very well. There's hope that Cam Schlittler continues to progress, and Luis Heel and Ryan Weathers. There's hope that Will Warren pitches well. There are a lot of things to be hopeful for. And if even some of them come true, there is the hope that the Yankees should compete, or at least could compete, because the rest of the league isn't super terrific. Though if I were fans of any team, I would want my team to be. But I wouldn't necessarily expect it because they're not the Yankees. And that's not their brand. And that's not what their whole organizational greatness and image comes from, being great. But should the Yankees make the postseason, and I'm getting way ahead of myself, but should the Yankees make the postseason? And should they be healthy? In a postseason series, Max Fried, Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, maybe Clark Schmidt, maybe Cam Schlittler? I mean, wow. Wow. And I know Aaron Judge hasn't been a great postseason hitter. I know that. Everybody knows that. But I'm also a believer in the law of averages. Over time, you're going to perform usually to the back of your baseball card. So one could make the argument that the odds say, I'm not a gambler though, and I'm against gambling, especially all the gambling in sports. That's another story. But the odds would say, not the betting odds, just law of probability odds, that one of these days Aaron Judge is going to have a monster postseason. And just maybe that could be this year. And if it is, maybe, just maybe, the Yankees could have greatness. Now, I've mentioned this many times. Recently released, West Point at Gettysburg, one of 3 volumes. The other 2 are not published yet. They will be published. But West Point at Gettysburg, Volume 1, A through G, has been published. And you can get a copy of that on Amazon. It's all over the place. But if you want to go to the publisher, another great publisher directly, you could go to sunburypress.com. The great James McPherson, probably the greatest living Civil War author in America, in the world, the most respected, one of the greatest Civil War writers of all time, praised my book. He gave this book, West Point at Gettysburg, praise. So again, you can find it at Sunbury. Here's the book cover one last time. I have to make a better graphic so it just doesn't cover my face. But this is an unbelievable book. Tells the story of every single West Point graduate, A through G, it's volume 1, who fought at the Battle of Gettysburg. It tells you where they were born, where they died, the major battles in the Eastern Theater that they were part of, what they did at the Battle of Gettysburg. If they left an officer report, I quote from the officer report. If there's a marker on the battlefield, I share what the marker on the battlefield says about what that person or his unit did at that spot. I talk about what that man did before the war, after the war, assuming he lived. They all didn't, of course, and so much more. This is an unbelievable work. It took me years and years to write. I'm now working on volume 2. These are going to be some great classic books, but right now it's out already. West Point at Gettysburg, Volume 1, A through G. Okay, my friends, I think that'll wrap it up for the day. We did some optimistic things. It's Valentine's Day. You need to do yourself and the important people in your lives a big favor. You need to find them, and you need to tell them you love them. I love you are 3 of the most powerful words in the entire English language when they are sincere and when they come from your heart. Show the love. It's Valentine's Day. Give the love. My dear friends, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a Yankees fan. Thank you for visiting. Start spreading the news. Have yourselves a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and a wonderful and loving Valentine's Day.